This is the EVP Podcast.
What is that? I'll tell you what it is. It's another episode of the EVP Podcast, and I am one of your hosts, Beaker.
And I'm Ghosty. What's
All
up,
right.
everybody?
Cool. Well, that was fun. We'll see you next week.
Good night, everybody.
We'll be here all week. Not really. So I'm excited.
Are you excited? 'Cause
Okay.
I'm excited.
So as of right now, in like just a little over a week, we're going to be in Reno.
And from Reno.
And from Reno, we're taking my car, your car, a car. We're taking a car to Virginia City. And it is going to be a grand old time. We also realized last week, hey, we're at episode 146. This week, this one right now that you're listening to is episode 147. So we have a special plan for episodes 149 and 150. Because
they're special, and because we're going out of town.
we're special, so they're special. So our 150th episode will probably air, like a week after we get back from Reno?
Yes.
But we want to have some time to go over our evidence and have some actual EVPs on the EVP podcast, even though our EVP stands for Energy, Visions, and the Paranormal.
Yeah, we should have some electronic voice phenomenon.
Yeah, we should have those. We're going to see if we can get the Finlays to come and join us for episode 150. They're hearing it first now. We haven't even talked to them yet, so they'll find out from listening to the show.
This is their formal invitation.
So we want to do like an evidence kind of go through reveal type thing with them. That's our plan. So, yeah, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty stoked about this.
Yeah, they have to deal with it. I am so excited because, one, I've been wanting to go to Virginia City for quite some time.
Yeah.
Our friend Paul has been begging me, not really begging, but he's been giving me crap because he's been going to this place for years. He actually loved it so much he moved to Reno.
Yep.
And I'm finally going. Paul, we're finally coming, Paul.
Thanks to the Finleys.
Yes,
Thanks, Terry.
to the Finleys. She booked the investigation and invited us to join her. So
She won the competition that Paul puts out every year. Thanks, Paul, for putting that out.
yes,
So, yeah, because of that, the EVP podcast is on its way finally.
yeah. So we're gonna have a couple places we're gonna visit while we're there because there's the Bonanza, which we've talked about on a previous episode. There is a bar that I'm gonna go check out, the Bloody Bucket or something that I've had a couple of people tell me that I need to go look.
The Mackey Mansion.
Yeah, we're gonna take a ghost tour of the Mackey Mansion. We're gonna try to anyways. We should see if we can book that here.
Yeah, we actually should before we. And then
We're gonna go. We're just gonna show up and tell them.
Paul just posted something about some new underground tunnels or some kind of tunnels out there.
So
I guess we got to go investigate it. EVP podcast needs to go check this out for ourselves.
the Lovelock Caves are near Reno, so we're gonna go check those
That's
out.
on the way there. Yep, we got to go check that out. Stop to see if that are your ancestors. Is that where they come from?
Yes,
Are you an
the
escaped-
Squatches.
Are you an escaped Squatch?
Well, I'm only half Squatch. So I could be half. I could be an escaped Squatch.
Could be.
I could have had a relative, an ancestor that escaped from the
Paiute
solitude
massacre.
of the Paiute massacre.
Yeah,
what?
the Paiutes massacred these last Squatches in this cave. That's why it's so
in that
famous.
cave.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Lovelock Cave.
I don't know anything about him, but you guys will soon. So yeah, that is what you have to look forward to in the next couple episodes. But today, we're going to Canada,
Oh, is this our first time going to North Mexico in our episodes?
North Mexico, huh?
Yeah.
I want to say I think this is our first trip to North Mexico,
I think so.
as it's now called apparently. Canada. We're going to Canada.
Canada.
More importantly, we're going to Banff, Alberta, Canada.
Canada.
Yeah, I'm fully aware it's Canada. Thanks, Jesse. And we're going to, probably the most haunted hotel in Canada, according to every website, except for the websites of other hotels that claim that they're the most haunted hotels in Canada. You ever notice that?
Yeah, that's a competition.
Everywhere is the most haunted place everywhere. Just assume if you're going there,
It's the most haunted place in that area.
I guarantee you, whatever haunted location you go to is going to be the most haunted location that you're currently at. And that will be true 100% of the time.
Like when I was in Jerome, Arizona, like when I went to that burger place, it was the most haunted burger place in Jerome. It was.
Well, it was also the most haunted burger place that you were at that time.
It sure was.
100% of the time, it will be true. Wherever you're at, it's the most haunted place that you're currently at.
Yeah, exactly.
See how that works? So a little bit about the Banff Hotel, Springs Hotel. It's actually called the Fairmont Banff Springs now.
Fairmont Banff Spring Hotel.
Fairmont. They got bought out.
Yeah.
Or they merged or something.
Something happened.
We have a lot
Ghosts.
of information.
Probably
They
ghosts.
have ghosts too. The ghosts, they're like, you need new ownership.
Yeah.
So they made it happen. So the Banff Springs Hotel. My phone farted. So it was built in 1888.
Which I think Canada has the same haunted standards of the U.S. with.
Yeah, North America.
North America,
Let's just say all
yep.
of North America.
Yep.
South America they have different rules.
Yeah, I think they're older than us.
For reasons. They have different rules for reasons. But this is definitely, it's over 100 years old, so definitely haunted.
Definitely
meets the
haunted.
EVP standard of haunted.
Yep.
So this was originally a wooden structure, and it was created out of necessity when the Canadian Pacific Railway stretched westwards, and a high-class hotel was needed for people traveling along the route.
You got them classy folks.
So the vice president of the CPR saw the hotel as a stop-off point and a world-class travel destination. With its breathtaking mountain scenery and natural hot springs, it had a lot to be proud of. Unfortunately, a major fire in 1926 completely devastated the building, and a complete reconstruction was carried out in 1928, is when the new hotel
Teach
opened
them
up.
to build out of wood.
Right, in the 1800s. I mean, they had sticks and concrete.
But now
They chose
stone.
wood because they're in the middle of a forest, which is now Banff National Forest.
I mean, it would make sense, but you're not
I
really
mean,
safe.
there was a lot of wood readily available. Now, the new construction was loosely based on Scottish castle with towers and stone walls. The Banff Springs enjoyed an upsurge in popularity in 1930s. When celebrities and royalty began flocking to the hotel, it quickly became known as the Castle of the Rockies. Now, some of these celebrities,
Yeah, I heard.
King George VI and Queen Elizabeth II, they visited the hotel during their 1939 Royal Tour of Canada. Do you know some of the other celebrities that have said to have been visiting there?
Yeah, and Marilyn Monroe was one of them.
And Helen Keller.
Helen Keller, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure many, many others.
I'm sure there's a lot of others, but, they're probably famous in Canada, and I wouldn't know who they are.
Most likely. Actually, anyone famous in Canada moves to the U.S.
Exactly, because there's not much that goes on there in Canada. A lot of
Right.
probably moose and
Kim's Convenience
reindeer.
came out of Canada. That was a great show. I thought it was fun.
But then it probably came here to the U.S.
Well, I mean, it was filmed in Canada. You know what's funny is a lot of TV shows are filmed in Canada.
It's probably
In
cheaper
probably British Columbia. Not really. Their dollar's not worth as much as ours.
Yeah.
Because we were looking at the prices for some of the hotel rooms.
Yeah, so the
And they're
hotel
like-
rooms here were showing like they sounded pretty expensive, but
But
if you
it-
convert it,
It's like $900 Canadian. And
pesos, North Mexico pesos.
North Mexico pesos, which is probably a couple $100 less here.
But
Do you know what I thought? I read something interesting. I heard this on a video as well. When the original hotel was built, so it wasn't, like I said, it was an H shape. If I didn't say that, I'm saying it now. It was an H shape. And
an egg shape?
H.
H shape.
Like the letter H.
Okay.
And what was interesting is two things that I read. One, I know for sure is true. The builder, he kind of fudged up a little bit, right? He built the thing backwards.
Well, it's an H. You can't really.
Right. So, no, what they mean by that, though, is say the kitchen and the dining room was supposed to be on this side of the hotel and the foyer is supposed to be. So
Okay.
basically, the entrance is supposed to be,
They
facing.
did it backwards.
Yeah. So, the entrance, I think the entrance was supposed to have been, facing the mountains or whatever, and it was facing the opposite way. So, basically, what was supposed to have been the front of the hotel was the back of the hotel and vice versa. And it was, flipped. So, the kitchen, let's say the kitchen was supposed to be on the west side, it was on the east side. So, they built everything backwards.
Bet you that's what happens a lot in Canada.
No, just in the 1800s in Banff. But yeah, they also claim that there was a contractor, a different one. That's
Well, Sorry.
yeah,
It's choking over there.
Bill Skarsgård. During the construction, apparently there was another contractor that made an error, And there was a room that was built without windows or doors. He didn't bother telling anybody about it. He just kind of like let it do its thing. And it wasn't discovered until the fire in 1926.
When somebody couldn't get out of the non-window room?
When someone somehow got into this room that no one knew about and was trapped in the fire.
Teach them to go in rooms that weren't supposed to be there.
Yeah, any other history you want to share of Banff? Before we get into some of the ghosties.
I don't think there was much other history about Banff Hotel.
I mean, there's a lot on Wikipedia, but I just wanted to give like kind of the generic history.
No, let's get into the spooks.
Let's get into the spooks. All right.
All right.
So some of the hotel rooms are haunted. So they say.
So they say.
So they say. So let's see. The staff claim that specific rooms are said to be haunted. The staff have also said that guests report having pillows pulled out from under their heads while they're sleeping. And other guests have also reported that they've been straight up pushed out of their beds by an unseen entity in the middle of the night.
Very interesting. In just random rooms, or just it would be the same room over and over again?
You know, it's funny because depending on what website you're looking at, some will say, like, one said a room on like 400 and something or other. And another website said they don't reveal the name or the room numbers. So I just think random rooms throughout the hotel. I don't think there's anything. I mean, there's certain rooms, I guess, apparently it's happening in all the time. But I couldn't get actual, like, numbers, room numbers.
Except for one room.
Except for one room.
Room 873.
So what goes on there?
So they talk about guests that wake up in this room. They would have the sounds of screaming. There would be bloody handprints on the mirrors, on the walls, and down the hallways. And the legend has it that a man murdered his whole wife and then killed himself. Murdered his wife and his whole family.
Wife.
His whole wife.
Just not half of the wife, just
the whole wife.
The whole wife.
Not just the head. no, his whole family and then himself. His whole family, his wife, and himself.
His wife and his daughter.
So, shortly after this, guests started to report the screams in the middle of the night. And then the maids that cleaned the room would have dreams about bloody fingerprints on the bathroom mirror and would reappear the next day when they would be in the room. Hotel representatives would stress that this is just a ghost story and the deaths did not actually happen. And then there isn't blood splattered room hidden anywhere. This does not stop guests from trying to prove that the legend is real, though. This is weird, however, that on the 8th floor, there is only a floor without a room 73. So it's weird that there isn't a room 73 on the floor. Maybe they just forgot and screwed up.
Maybe. I don't know. They say that every other floor has, like 773, 673, whatever.
But ghost hunters claim that they can find, like they found the hidden room, that there's just like a space there where they bricked up an area where the door used to be and just kind of try to blend it into the wall. And they say that they can find it and they say it's there, but I guess we'd have to go ourselves.
Yeah, I want to go to Canada.
Nobody ever.
Except for the people that want Canadian beer. I think that they claim that you can go knock on the wall where the room is supposed to be, and you can hear it's like hollow, like a room's supposed to be there.
See, now, just where the door is, or like along the whole wall?
I think along the whole wall, like, because from what I understand, they bricked up the door and just like covered it up with wallpaper to make it look like it's just a long hall. Mm-hmm. So obviously, if they did in fact brick up the door, what do you think you would like knocking? Like you'd be able to find the bricks? You know what I mean? Unless they plastered over the bricks.
I'm pretty sure they would have to plaster over it with sheetrock to kind of make it blend.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the claim is that you can knock somewhere in there and you can hear where the room is. But what I think is interesting. So here you have this story of a contractor that built a room with no walls and windows, right? And it's like just there and no one knows about it until the fire. And then you have this room that this murder took place in.
In the same room.
I don't know if it's the same room. I just think it's interesting that you have these two stories about a room that's hidden.
I guess the best way would be if you were from the outside looking at it, you could see if there was a missing window where a window should be. If all the other rooms had windows, all the other floors, I mean, then you would see where there's a missing window.
We're going to Canada.
I guess we'd have to.
We have to go to Canada.
Nobody's been able to tell us
clearly,
this.
no one's thought of that before.
I thought of that right off the bat.
Which
Thanks,
makes
Canada.
sense. Yeah. Canadian ghost hunters, you're doing it wrong.
Oh, my God.
Probably American ones, too.
Well, there's another ghost about the burning bride.
The burning bride. Okay, so here's the deal with this one. This is supposedly happened like towards when the hotel like first opened. This lady and her husband.
And I heard this was more in the 20s.
More in the 20s. See, it's all over the place. It doesn't even know where it's at. So, anyways, there's this family, this couple, they're getting married, right? They're having their wedding at the Banff Hotel there.
Because it's fancy. It's a castle in the Rockies.
And there's some stories where she's going up the stairs. There's stories where she's going down the stairs. She's wearing her white wedding gown as she's ascending or descending the stairs. There's possibly candles, possibly not candles.
Possibly a railing, possibly not a railing.
Right. So one of the stories goes is she's walking up the stairs. Just seems weird. It would be like she's walking down the stairs, right? And there's these candles lining it, like, oh, she's beautiful, here she comes. And they think that her dress, like, had brushed one of the candles and caught on fire, right? And that she panicked because she's, I'm on fire, right? And she tripped in this moment of panic and fell down the stairs and broke her neck and died.
And I heard one where she was going up the stairs because the wedding was on the upper floor. And as she finished getting ready, was going up the stairs, there was not a banister to got the railing to kind of help you hold on to and not fall off the side. And she tripped on her dress going up and fell off the side where there's no handrail where one should be and plummeted to her death. Broke her neck and died.
Yep. So she fell away and died.
So and I've also seen the ones with candles being involved. Same scenario, but not tripping on her dress catching fire and then panicking, falling.
Yeah. So I've seen both of those stories on different websites and podcasts and stuff like that. So there's not a real solid story on what actually happened.
Yeah.
Interesting. But they do say that guests have seen her in her wedding gown, often in the ballroom dancing. They think that maybe she's waiting for her husband to join her. They also say that they have seen a woman on the staircase where she lost her life, and that staff members have also reported strange noises coming from the bridal suite, even though no one was checked in or staying there.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now we got Sam the Bellman.
So Sam Macaulay. So he was a bellman during the 60s and 70s, and he passed away in 75. So he was known to appear in his 60s uniform, helping guests enter the locked rooms, turning on lights, and helping them carry their bags. And then one story goes that one night, two elderly women called for the bell desk after the key to the room wouldn't work. And the bellman was too busy to respond, and he knew, it was about 15 minutes out before he can even help with what they needed. And when he finally arrived to help them with what they needed, he was surprised that when he asked the women how they got their door open, they said that an older bellman dressed in a plaid jacket had helped them. And he was the only one working that time. Yeah. So he was like pretty, what the hell?
They kind of described the guy to the bellman, and the description matched that of Sam.
And he's often seen in his old office, which is now a guest room, as well as on the 6th and 7th and 9th floor. And people say Sam will vanish if you try to talk to him or give him a tip. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Is there a lot of people that say they see him?
Yeah, this one quite a bit. And I do know for a fact that, and we'll get into this a little bit later, because we have some stories from actual employees.
Guests
employees from the hotel. But from what I understand, Sam was an actual bellman that worked there. Like, Sam is a legit real person. So there is some evidence to back this story. To back up Sam. Now, apparently there was a photo that was taken in 1913 of the kitchen staff and the dining staff that was working the hotel that summer. Now, in this photo on the left side, there looks to be apparition, like a half apparition of a man's body. And this one, if I can find the picture, like I saw it in a video, but if I can find the actual picture, I'll put it up on social media. But there's a lot of debate on this, on whether or not it's an actual apparition or if the photo was just like double exposed.
Interesting.
Which is
What did you think when you saw it?
Honestly, in the video, looking at it on my phone, I couldn't really see what they were talking about.
Huh.
To me, it didn't look like there was anything there at all. So,
like they were just stressing it, like trying to stretch too far, trying to reach too far to get
quite
something.
possibly. Like I said, some people, they think it's an apparition of a man. Some people, it's just a double exposure.
Okay.
Which in 1913, I think is very possible that it was a double exposure. So once I find the photo, I will put it up on social media. But I'm pretty sure it's just not real.
So there is another apparition of a bartender that has been witnessed by staff and a guest, telling them that they've had too much to drink and it was best if they went to bed.
That's such a nice bartender.
Yeah, just letting people know, like, hey, you're drunk. You should just go to bed now. But and then there's a headless man playing bagpipes.
Yeah, that's always fun. Okay, so here's the photo. It's supposedly...
okay. Right here?
Yeah. They show it to the Spotify and YouTubers. But, and like I said, I'll put this on the social media. But on the left side here, for those that can actually see it, why are you turning it away from the camera? The guy that's standing at the top of the stairs, just underneath them, there's a half person, apparently. I still don't see
a shadow right here.
Right, that's what it looks like to me. So,
And I think right here, the wrinkles in the clothing, they probably try to incorporate it saying it's his face, I bet.
Probably. So we'll put this...
Or is it that? It's right here. Maybe it's the white coat. Is it the white coat? Half white coat?
Oh, you know what? I see that now. Okay, I see what they're talking about. It very well could just be part of the wall, too. I don't know. We'll post it on social media. We want to hear what you think.
Highlight that.
I'll highlight it. Yeah, I'll highlight it.
Because I did not see that at first.
I didn't either.
I was seeing the shadow thing.
Same here. That's why I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. So
the pareidolia was setting in right here where the part of the face.
I can see what you're talking about. No one else can. So I'll highlight where they think this spirit is. I want to hear what you guys think. Hit us up on the social media or email us what you think. But I think, honestly, I think it's pareidolia. I think it's just part of the wall.
Yeah.
What else we got? We got Sonia.
Yeah, so these are some personal stories from the hotel.
So this one I found on a YouTube video, and again, I don't know how much I believe this, but we're gonna roll with this because it's very interesting. So Sonia was staying there at the hotel for a work conference. Now she was checking in. Apparently, she had no idea that the hotel was haunted or reportedly haunted. The first night that she was there, she stayed in room 291, so 291. In the middle of the night, on that first night, she suddenly woke up and claimed that she was paralyzed by something that took her over. So sleep paralysis kicking in, right? Mm-hmm. And she says that she was extremely terrified and she was physically unable to move, which would make sense in sleep paralysis. That's often what happens. And there's a lot of explanations for sleep paralysis. Possibly paranormal, but not always. Mm-hmm. Now, she says that she saw an apparition of a woman in a white dress standing in front of her, right? And this woman was surrounded by candles on the floor. And this woman was standing in front of a mirror. And what was very unsettling for Sonia was that even though this apparition was standing in front of the mirror, she couldn't see the reflection of the apparition's face. Like... The woman was like touching the mirror, right? She was like looking at the mirror, touching it, but there was no face in the reflection.
Right off the bat, to me, this sounds like a dream. Like she was dreaming.
It's very possible. Now, she then felt like she was being released and the apparition vanished. Okay. So she decided that she was going to look into this and do some research. And all I got from the research that she supposedly did is that she wasn't sure if it was like the daughter or the mom from 873 or if it was the bride. Either way, apparently the Sonia person is never going to forget what happened.
Dun, dun, dun.
And, we've talked about
Cerebral palsy.
sleep paralysis before. And, you've had your own experience with sleep paralysis.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's just, I feel like you might just be in the state where your mind has woken up, but your body hasn't, which is entirely possible. That's like an actual, scientific thing, from what I understand.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of that sounds like it could be like she didn't fully wake up yet and was still dreaming. From what that sounded like, because in a dream, sometimes your mind can't make up faces, so it'll use faces that you've seen elsewhere, or it won't put faces on things. So, from what it sounds like she was dreaming.
So, of these stories, which one do you think, if any, are actually legit?
Like you said, Sam being a real employee there
I think Sam's legit, yeah.
Could be legit. Here's another story.
What do we got?
So this guy says it's not super terrifying, but strange. So his wife had a weird thing happen once. There's this one public washroom where you have to take the stairs up to. She was alone in the washroom, sitting down on the toilet, and heard footsteps of another woman in heels coming up the stairs, opening the stall door beside her and getting in. She was mildly annoyed that they went to the stall right beside her, but she was just finishing up anyways. Gets up, gets out, looks, and no one was in there with her.
Huh. Apparently
that sounds legit.
That does sound legit. That's from actual visitor.
From guests staying there at the hotel.
Another scary thing is someone stayed there and the room was small.
Let's see. I think there was another one. Actually, no, I think that might be it.
So here's someone that said they spent multiple hours in the area where the bride who tripped and passed, according to legend. Mm-hmm. They meditated there and no haunted type feelings, though. They said they spent many days roaming the grounds and the building, including the stairwells and passageways, all the famous rooms, and the banquet halls. It had a historic feel, but nothing super spooky. They said they spent a lot of time relaxing in the Buffalo Head room, as there was a pool table. This historic area for ghosts, even though this area showed me no haunted signs, unique things did happen at times. The haunting is supposed to be of a bartender of the Ramsey Lounge, located in the Stanley Thompson Wing. I believe this legend may be different than the Bellman Sam ghost. Yeah, none of my research led me to believe that they were the same ghost, so I don't know why this person... if that's...
Do you think the...
Yeah, when they say I believe... They said, I believe this legend may be different than the Bellman Sam ghost. So I guess at some point they thought the bellman and the bartender were the same person, which nothing I got from any of the research gave me that idea.
So here's one from a past employee. So she's, I don't know what's she. Well, they say, huh?
This one, so she goes on to say, this individual goes on to say that she started a young couple once who walked into the Buffalo Head room late one night. They were discussing the ghost as they had entered and were genuinely spooked to see my eyes. They said they spent more time exploring the hotel than most people have and was actually scared the last time they slept in the hotel. But it was the bellman putting a room invoice in the paper under the door at 3 a.m. So
they were probably ghost hunting. And that's
probably. So what else we got?
So this employee says, I have seen some things that cannot be explained. One night, I was polishing a brass railing that goes up the stairs to the men's washroom besides the Rundle Lounge. The washroom door opened a bit and slammed. I thought it was my staff playing a joke, so myself and the security guard that did rounds with me went and looked. No one was in there. My team was at the other end of the Spanish Walk. It wasn't just me that saw this happen. No one would have been able to do this unless they were inside the washroom. We had the clear view of the door, and we were only 4 steps down from it. And that's pretty nuts. And then another night, I was on the ninth floor tower with the night manager checking some rooms. We were both in a larger room doing a check, and we heard kids laughing in the hall. This was at 1 a.m. We heard a faint knock on the door, and the laughing Oh, we heard a knock on the door and the laughing. The manager opens the door and there is no one there. The whole tower was blocked out for a special guest, so no one was on any of the floors. We had an elevator lock, so unless you had a manager key card, you were not getting up there. The fire exit you can't get into the hallways from, and the doors lock on the inside, forcing you to go down the main level. Other small things have happened, but those are the most memorable.
Interesting. So here's more stories from someone that they were working there as a contractor. Mm-hmm. So this individual says that they were doing drywall at the Fairmont in Banff about 12 years ago. This article is from 3 years ago. So about 15 years ago, this individual was working doing drywall. And they heard of several unexplained phenomena during their time there. They heard tales of the massive shadow wolf that can be found on the outskirts of the golf course.
I never heard any of that either.
During a full moon. So, I mean, this is what he said he heard. This is what they said they heard while they were doing the drywall there. They said they heard stories of the Reaper-like spirit that rides the horse-drawn carriage through the old trails connecting with the hotel grounds. Now, they laughed most of these off like anyone would, but they had several creepy events happen to them during the month that they stayed at the hotel. Some were truly horrifying, and they go on to say, I don't care to revisit, others not so much. I will share one of these experiences with you. So this is one of the experiences that this contractor had. They say when replacing a wall on the 4th floor, their boss found an entire hotel suite completely boarded off from the main hotel. Still decorated in what appeared to be 1950s decor. It was like it was frozen in time. It was a big, beautiful corner room overlooking the property, and apparently there was something faintly written in blood or lipstick on the bathroom mirror. That is about all of my boss shared with us, but we suspect he was hiding something as he seemed shook. When they looked at the room from the exterior of the hotel, the windows looked like they were frosted over or glazed with smoke like there had been a fire. The manager told him that the area of the hotel was shut down a long time ago and to board the room back up like it was. So he did. Later that night, when they were walking home from the bar, they noticed that the lights were on in that room. It looked like a party was happening and they could hear music. They said they could see only silhouettes from the outside, so they went to where the room should be on the inside of the hotel on the 4th floor, just out of curiosity to see if they could hear anything. And there was no door, just a long, dark, empty hallway past where the other hotel rooms are. They could hear faint laughter and maybe like glasses chiming or some music. The song sounded like Lavender Moon by Harula Rose, and they said they almost thought that they were losing their mind at the moment, and they knew that the room was inaccessible as it was boarded off and there was no door. It was one of the creepiest experiences of their life, and that was the last night at the Fairmont. And they say they personally wouldn't stay in the Fairmont again. Some things are just better left untouched.
Dun, dun, dun.
And the next person says, I have to call you out on this because I have not heard any of these claims.
They are far too detailed for one, and the lipstick mirror is straight out of the RuPaul's Drag Race. And they do say, though, that there had only been one hidden room found after the fire in the original hotel, which is very tenacious, and I couldn't find any evidence of it. Nice try, though.
So it sounds like someone was just looking for some clout on the Reddit.
Well, this person who was calling that person out, they actually were an ex-employee there.
Were they?
Yes. They were actually part of the ghost tour that they did during the springs.
Yes, they were.
Through October. They dressed up as the Ghost Bride and Sam, the bellman, for a fun little tour for guests. And since me and one of the other guys also hosted the historical tours of the hotel, we decided to do a little digging into the ghost stories. And so each one of the ghost stories that they actually were telling, they looked up every single one. They dug and did all the research. And what they found out was that they are all made up by previous staff. Dun,
pretty much.
Dun, dun.
Oh, but see, that's a selling point. Other than, for me, looking at the pictures of the hotel, it looks beautiful. It looks like a place I would love to go stay. It's like the Estes Hotel. Not the, was it the Stanley Hotel?
The Stanley Hotel.
But like on steroids.
Yeah.
This place looks amazing.
The ultra Rocky Mountain version.
Yeah, because this is the Canadian Rockies.
Yeah, they're higher.
Not the Colorado Rockies.
They're higher than Colorado.
Yeah, they're higher than you.
Impossible.
So this individual goes on to say that Sam the Bellman was based off of one of the old bellmen called Sam McCooley. He did really work there at the hotel for over 20 years. He was just your average friendly bellman who continues to help guests even after he died. He was made up, the ghost anyways, by David Moberg, who was the old head of the bell desk. It became a joke in the department when a bag went to a room and you couldn't find out who did it. You just said it was Sam. There have been reports of him appearing in the spa suites and guests see him at for the bed. This is not possible as the spa suites were only added in the hotel in 1992, decades after the real Sam worked at the hotel. I'm going to have to disagree with that. Just because the shit was added after he died doesn't mean he can't visit there. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, do I think there's ghosts though? Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But it's funny though, because I mean, yeah, Sam, he wouldn't frequent those areas when he worked, because when he worked there, those areas didn't exist.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, could his ghost be there and still go there if he wanted to? If he knew he was dead, probably. If he didn't cross over,
right?
You know?
But usually they just haunt areas that they're familiar with.
Yeah.
So his old office, which in the mezzanine, which is now a guest room, would make sense.
That would make sense. His ghost possibly could be there, but like probably not moving bags around. That's kind of funny though that they would just kind of say that Sam did it.
Sam did it
just to avoid taking blame.
Yeah, they lost someone's bag. It was Sam.
Oh, Sam did it.
Well, that good old Sam.
Damn, Sam did it. All right, so the ghost ride. So the story goes that a young lady, due to be wet in the hotel, was descending a spiral staircase by the Cascade Ballroom to go to the ballroom for her first dance with her husband. As she descended the stairs, her dress caught fire, and in mid-dash to put it out, she fell down the stairs, breaking her neck, dying instantly. And guests say that they can see ghostly bride dancing in the ballroom and crying.
Yep.
The origins of this one I found out from the old VP of the hotel, David Rogers. He told me the story was created by one of his old colleagues in 1986. A group of them set themselves a challenge to see who could create the best ghost story. And well, this lady, sorry I can't remember her name, made the best one that is still told today. And for any naysayers, there is no historical record of this death, and no one can either confirm what decade this happened in. A fun story nonetheless, and my favorite one to tell on my tours. I used to joke her mother-in-law pushed her.
See, like we were talking about at the beginning of this episode, there were so many different variations of this story, whether she was ascending or descending the story, whether it was candles or she tripped over the hem of her own dress. Mm-hmm. I said that I heard that it happened towards the opening of the hotel. You said you heard it happen in the 20s. Mm-hmm. So this would make sense.
Exactly. No one can confirm it.
Because it never happened.
Exactly.
So room 875 is what this person said, which 873 is what I've heard and read on every thing that I've looked into. Now they say the 8th floor, there's a missing room. We cover that, the story of the family, blah, blah, blah. So the mother and father had a massive argument, after which the father went to the bar and got very drunk. So this is details I didn't have before. In his rage, he snuck into the kitchen, stole a knife, and went back to the room and stabbed his wife to death while his daughter watched. Now, they go on to say that they know this one is a lie because they're the ones that made it up. No one has ever been murdered at the Banff Spring Hotel. All that happened in that room, which are quite small up on the 8th, was expanded into 2 rooms to become 1. It became a problem because you can see where the doorway was, so people who most of the time were not even staying at the hotel knock on the door, which is right where the head of the bed is, usually waking up the guests who spent $500 to stay in that room. So they go on to say, in their many years of working at the hotel as one of its historians, they couldn't find a kernel of truth to any of the ghosts.
What's funny though is that
they're
the
good,
ones
fun stories. Yeah, so they're the ones that made up the murder story.
Yeah, that's hilarious. We actually read about it and heard about it, and they are the ones that actually made that whole one up.
Right.
That's awesome. But yes, I do think that there are ghosts there. It fits the criteria. 100 years, North American. Yep.
You want to read this other one? This person that worked there at nights, and they heard various things.
Oh. Where's that at?
You're the one that showed me this one.
Yeah, no,
They go on to say the popular stories are not true, but they believe that there is activity there. They've seen some things that could not be explained. One night when they were polishing the brass railing, you already read that one. Mm-hmm. Yep. So I'm gonna not read that again.
Yeah, because
you already read that one.
Like I showed you.
Yeah. So previous employees, straight from the horse's mouth, the one guy, lady, whoever it was, made up the murder story.
But other employees that have experienced things for themselves. They, in the beginning of that part, they mentioned how they know that the stories are made up, but then they go on to tell about the things that had happened to them that they witnessed for themselves, which is pretty damn cool. So, do I think it's haunted?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Haunted.
Very
EVP,
haunted.
stamp of approval.
Yep. North Mexico, haunted.
Yes, sir.
What else we got?
I think that's all we got. I just think it's interesting. I'm sure there's a lot of places out there like this where
there's another hotel right by it that's supposed to be haunted.
Oh yeah, what's it called?
The Louise or something?
Louise? I don't know. All of Canada is haunted, just like everywhere is.
The Fairmont Banff Louise. I don't know.
But yeah, those are just some interesting, fun stories for the hotel. I'm sure it's a draw for ghost hunters.
Yeah, I mean they have a whole ghost tours thing there. So.
Right.
But I think the ghost tours thing would be cool because it would be worth it. I think there are spirits there, but none that fit the stories that they talk about. I think it's just fun for them to have some kind of a interaction with a group and kind of tell stuff to give people.
It opens it up for more clientele to come and check the place out, including like ghost hunters that probably aren't even getting rooms there. They're just walking up and knocking on the wall, and like this employee said, waking people up because where the door used to be is where they have the bed.
So they're knocking on the bedroom.
So that makes sense. Where like you wouldn't see the.
And then the other side of the story, the people sleeping in the room are talking about we were knocking on our walls all night.
It was weird.
That room was definitely haunted.
Yeah.
But
we woke up at 3 a.m. to knocking on the wall.
Just like they said they were.
It's a demon.
Demons.
Because only demons knock at 3 in the morning.
It's pretty cool. It looks spooky that it's up there in the mountains like the way the Stanley Hotel is.
It looks really cool.
Yeah, it looks really
I would definitely go visit there.
I don't know if I'd want to go all the way up there. It's pretty cold, but I mean, if you go up there, please just live stream.
Go in the summertime.
I bet it's still cold in
Canada, look, no, they have like 2 weeks of summer before
where it's like 80 degrees.
Yeah, and then it's winter again.
They got 2 weeks of 80.
So if you hit up this place during the 2 weeks of summer in Canada, you're good to go. Other than that, you're in winter.
Yeah.
It's like 11 and a half months of winter and 2 weeks of summer in Canada. That's the rules.
You're lucky. You'd be lucky if you get that.
So yeah, definitely haunted.
Yeah, I think so.
I still want to check it out. I think it would be fun to go there and just say I went there.
I'd rather go to Europe. If I was going to go out of the country, I would go to
you
North
can go
Mexico.
to like the French Canadian part of Canada, and it's almost like going to Europe.
I'd rather go to the French quarters of New Orleans and investigate there.
That would be fun. I want to go to that house with the lady, Marie Laveau.
Yeah.
Madame Delphine Lalaurie as well. Either one of those places. I think Nicolas Cage bought one of them.
Really?
Yeah, we'll talk about it in another episode. Those are places and people I want to talk about somewhere.
Yeah, well, I think we should actually travel there with my new snake money that I'm going to get.
With your snake money.
Yeah, you've seen the snake that I had.
There was a snake in a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, so
he was holding one of his snakes.
I got 8 of them now. There's 8 snakes in my little snake room here.
And they're all haunted.
They are going to create wealth for our team to go on tour and go to do all sorts of crazy haunted stuff.
Yeah, it's going to help us buy our Booze and Q's restaurant.
Exactly. All with haunted snake cash.
Yes, the snake money.
So if you guys are going to want to buy a snake in a year or two, we'll have them for you.
Yep. So in the meantime...
Start pushing snakes, man.
I'll start pushing you. In the meantime, check out our social medias, evp.pod at Instagram and Facebook. Check out the reaction videos that DVDO does. They're pretty cool. There's some cool videos there. And then if you've had experiences at the Banff that you want to share with us, email us, evp.pod@gmail.com. gmail.com.
Or just any ghost stories in general.
Yeah, that too.
We haven't read any ghost stories.
We haven't done any listener stories recently. No, we haven't.
We need to do one of those.
If you got a story you want told on the show, you know where to get it.
Yeah, you know where to go.
You know where to go. And then go to our affiliate link, ghoststop.com. Buy some ghost hunting gear. We're going to be doing some soon.
Yeah, we need to get some lined up here soon. Weather's getting nice, warming up. Time to do some ghosting stuff.
All right.
All right, guys. Ghosty, don't play that.
Peace out, butterflies.
This is the EVP Podcast.